Hello and welcome to the HTC Hardcore Gamers Club. My name is Daniel and this video is a cleaning gone wrong because he was watching the wrong videos. If you're doing a cleaning and you're following one of my videos, I usually and hopefully in all of the videos tell you, especially on the PS4s, when you remove the power supply, unhook the cable from the power supply, not the motherboard. And you'll see in a moment as to why I tell you to do that. I got this a while back, just now barely bothering to make any videos on it. You want to see more videos like this, make $1 or more donation to the HTCGamersClub.com to help me provide free repairs to kids. And I will make more videos of this quality. So let's see what he did wrong, and I'll kind of walk you through the repair. It's a simple one, nothing major, but something that you may very well wind up having to do or send in to do. Okay, so you're looking at these pads. You can obviously tell that one of the pads were ripped off. The entire port got yanked off of the motherboard. The yellow line to the right of the screen is the side of the motherboard. Pay close attention to the port placement when we do that. Alright, so see how these pads, this particular pad, extremely hard to rebuild. This one is also extremely hard to rebuild. This one's easy enough to rebuild because it's actually all of that grounding area there. Okay, so all we need to do to clean this up and attach it is to expose a little bit more copper and then slightly offset the port so that we have metal to metal contact. I could solder on a wire, but there's no need to go into that much detail. So take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, clean off the green portion of the board that we just scraped off, and then we'll take a soldering iron and kind of clean up the ports. Apply a little bit of flux. You don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. Now your soldering iron should be fairly hot, but not overly hot. Now you'll notice I do have it edited in this video because I started to put the port on backwards. You see the port, the way it sits right now as I have it in the video? That is backwards. You cannot have it in backwards. Although it will fit on there perfectly backwards, you don't want to wind up putting it on backwards. It won't work. Okay, so we got a portion of a leg there we're going to need to remove, and we're going to need to clean up the solder on the other ones. There we go. That off. Clean up the thing. Clean that up. Clean that up a little bit. And add some solder to the exposed copper. Didn't quite get enough on there, so make sure you get a good amount on there. There we go. Now all we need to do is take the port and mount it on. There was the edit. Alright, add a little bit more flux here. So we're going to situate the port in the proper direction. Okay, so you don't want it that way because that makes a little notch facing the edge of the board. You want the notch to face the inner portion of the board. Now look, you see that? It'll fit if you solder it out wrong. Alright, it'll fit perfectly and you won't even know until you go to try to turn your system on. It goes this way with the notch that's in the middle that you see toward the deepest part of the board. Okay, so this port is fairly small, so we're going to use a pair of tweezers to get our alignment and placement. We're going to just slightly scoot the port a little bit forward so that we can get the leg on top of the copper. Get a better bite on that. We want the leg to be on the top of the copper on the broken port, on the broken pad. So we're going to slide it just slightly forward, just enough to get the leg where we want it. And then we'll move to the other side and solder that down. Make sure the legs are completely touching the contact of the motherboard. There we go. It's nice and solid. We'll do a little bit of touch-up work on the other side. Okay, here we go. I'm going to touch up the legs just a little bit, add a little bit of solder to it. Nice and pretty. There's plenty of solder on that, so we're good. Move to the other side. And shazam, we're all done. Okay, now the port is slightly off, but that makes no difference whatsoever. I mean, everybody likes to have a perfect placement, but it's not that big of a deal. So long as it's making good contact with the pads beneath, you won't have to worry about it. And as long as he plugs and unplugs from the power supply instead of the motherboard, he won't accidentally rip that port off again. Okay, I'm going to give it a good wiggle. Everything's nice and in place. All the contacts are making good contact. This was a successful repair, as I am narrating and videoing after the fact, so we know for a fact it worked. Stay safe, happy gaming everybody.